So, the trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse just dropped. The first movie is one of my favorite superhero movies ever made, and so this sequel has really big shoes to fill. The animation is gorgeous as expected after the groundbreaking visuals of the first movie. I love the relationship that Miles has with his mom and how that's the emotional core of the trailer, and this hard cut to black is super jarring and off-putting in all the right ways. But you don't care about that. We all know that's not why you clicked on this video. In this climate of pop culture discourse and movie news, there are only 3 words that matter. Cameos, cameos, cameos. This video is brought to you by Atlas VPN. During the holidays, you're most likely going to be doing a lot of online shopping, but if you don't have a VPN, your internet provider can track your purchases and sell that data to advertisers. Atlas VPN is the best VPN deal in the market. With my link in the description, you can get Atlas for just $170 a month plus 6 months free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That rhymed a little bit. That's how you know it's good. It stops ads and malware, saves you money while shopping online. It helps you unlock your favorite streaming content from all over the world. If there's a show that's exclusive to Netflix in Canada, for example, then Atlas VPN has you covered. Atlas VPN makes it easier than ever to keep you and your data secure. With one subscription, you can protect all your devices, and getting your privacy back is as easy as one click. And if you're traveling this holiday season, Atlas VPN helps keep you from getting upcharged by hotels and airlines. Have a private holidays and a safe new year with Atlas VPN Premium. You can have it for just $170 per month and 6 months for free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That rhymed a little bit. That's how you know it's good. Click the link in the description to grab this holiday deal while you can, and thanks to Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. This trailer has a lot of Spider people in it. You've got Insomniac Spider-Man, Spider-Man Unlimited, Peter B. Parker comes back as the objective best Spider-Man. Actually, you know what? Can we get a list going? There we go. We got our first look at Jessica Drew's Spider-Woman. It looks like they're taking aspects from a bunch of different Spider-Women, including design elements from the original Valerie the Librarian, which is a character that not a lot of people even know existed. She's got this really cool bike and she's just beating the shit out of this guy who I'm assuming is the Vulture. He's kind of got this like really cool Leonardo da Vinci style to him. It's pretty sweet. I see you head into the comments. I know you're gonna make the Da Vinci joke. Do it. I'm a bit surprised that we didn't see any of Spider-Punk, who we know is gonna be voiced by Daniel Kaluuya. He's a great character, probably my favorite alternate universe Spider-Man with a great design that I hope plays a big role in the story. Also, at Target, I saw they have a little guitar that's like Spider-Man themed. I'm like, oh God, it's so cool. I'm 24 years old and I would buy that thing. On top of like the obvious ones like Superior Spider-Man and Bombastic Bagman and Mangaverse Spider-Man and all that, there were some other ones that stuck out to me. Like this guy who looks like he's one of the clones from the Ultimate Spider-Man clone saga. And then there's this guy who I think might be a version of Flash Thompson as Captain Spider. Whoever this is, they look like they're a Canadian Spider person and that's fun. And then we've got Werewolf Spider-Man from the comics, which is really fun. And then Spider Monkey. Oh my God, I love Spider Monkey. And also I think this is Arachno Man from the Ultimate Spider-Man. That guy was like an actor pretending to be Spider-Man. It wasn't even real. Like the original printing, it was literally Tobey Maguire being himself, but I think there were like rights issues with like reprints, so they changed him to Arachno Man. That's a fun one. And also it's really cool to get to see Spider-Pig again. But I don't care about any of them. The only person I care about is right there. Wait, no, wait, go back. Wait! Right there! That little fucking baby. Peter B. Parker is now a father. And that's a big deal. For anyone who doesn't know, the mainline run of Spider-Man comics have been pretty stagnant lately. I guess that's a nice way of saying it. The character keeps on getting rebooted and sent back to status quo and hasn't been able to truly grow since like the early 2000s. He used to be married and on the verge of having a family, but it all got ripped away and the slate was wiped clean, and he's been like that ever since. It's been pretty exhausting as a longtime reader. I even made a video on it a few years ago, and it's a major reason why I don't really read the mainline Amazing Spider-Man series. If a character isn't able to grow and change, then what's the point? But this changes all of that. Now, with the release of this movie, millions and millions of people will be exposed to this kind of story. They'll see dad bod Peter Parker actually being a dad to this adorable little kid who, that kid's really cute. And I really think audiences are going to resonate with that kind of story. Not only is this specific version of Spider-Man shown to be Jewish like I and a lot of other people want, but now he's also a father, and he's also canonically supposed to be the mainline 616 version of the character, which honestly doesn't mean anything at this point. That number has been just thrown around. The MCU is technically 616, and we all know it's nothing like the comics.
As much as Kevin Feige can make us think that it's 616, it is one 99999.
But still, that feels like it should be a big deal. Marvel is a company that loves its synergy, either with the movies or the games or its television shows. They always want one piece of media to advertise for the other. As an example, the success of Spider-Verse led to Miles Morales being a main feature in a lot more comics. And so theoretically, if they're smart about this, they can use this movie as a launching point to get the character back into that state of growth. They'll see that Spider-Dad has mainstream appeal and hopefully are able to move past this stagnant, incapable of growth mindset that they've had for the past 20 or so years. And as I was going through the trailer and seeing all the spider people, again, can I get a list going? I noticed that there only seems to be one version of Miles Morales in this, whatever this place is. I know there's a term for it in the Spider-Verse comics. I know for a fact, but I don't remember it. We know that the Insomniac universe has its own Miles, but it's interesting that he's not present at all, even in the background. And I wonder if that's intentional. Spider-Man 2099 in this movie looks terrifying. He straight up seems like a completely different person than he did at the end of the last movie. And for some reason, he seems to really hate Miles. Like, Jesus Christ, he really wants to fucking kill this kid. Like, look at oh my God. And so why is that? Well, the movie obviously isn't out yet. And so I'm really excited for people to come here 3 years from now and comment, oh, this didn't age well. Like, I know it's 3 years old, but I feel like it has something to do with the greater Spider-Verse. Miguel seems to be the leader of this Spider Order or Spider Club or whatever you would want to call it. Maybe taking a page from the comics and having him be the Master Weaver. I get the impression that his mission is to protect the multiverse, and something about Miles is standing in the way of that. Maybe it has to do with how Miles got his powers. In the first movie, the spider just kind of goes unexplained, with it being implied that it came from another dimension or another dimension. And so maybe it's something about that, about Miles's DNA being made up from two separate universes scares Miguel, and he sees that as a threat. Maybe it's not even Miguel. I heard some people say that it might be Gabriel O'Hara, which could be potentially interesting. And so that's why everyone is going after Miles, and why Gwen at the end of the trailer is opposing Miguel in what he's doing. Maybe Miguel has no choice but to kill Miles for the greater good, and this moral dilemma pits our original trio against them. This scene is showing Miguel running towards Miles while he's in this sort of crazy spider tech thing. It looks a little bit like some version of the Web of Life and Destiny from the Spider-Verse comics. Maybe Miles is messing with things he doesn't understand, and he unleashes something dangerous that pits him against the rest of the spider people. Personally, I don't really want to see them pull from the Spider-Verse comic events too much. I think the ideas were interesting, but the events were always really cluttered and relied so heavily on a lot of the mystical stuff from Spider-Man lore that I don't really care for, like the totems and the inheritors, and just, I was never really able to get into it. They're not bad comics, they're just bad Spider-Man comics. The main appeal of those comics, at least for me, has always been seeing how these different spider people interact together and the different interpretations that we can see. And since apparently the main villain for both of these second and third movies is seemingly going to be the Spot, I'm really excited to see what direction they go with in this movie. While I'm talking about this, I might as well just say it. This video was initially going to be like, oh, my crazy fan theory. Oh, I cracked the code. Oh, I figured something out. I had this wild idea that Gwen and Miles that we were seeing in the trailers weren't actually the same ones from the first movie. It sounds crazy. Because it is, mainly because certain things weren't lining up, like the end of the first movie and the way that first trailer opens, and it opens with another universe, which has always implied that it's not Miles's universe. And I theorized that like these new Miles and Gwen, they'd be killed off in the first act, similar to how Peter was in the first act of the first movie, before we meet back with like the actual Miles and Gwen from the first movie, in a way to like subvert expectations and raise the stakes in the way that like any sequel should. Again, I know it doesn't work. I know it's crazy. I just wanted to get it out there, just like on the slim chance I might have be onto something there. But after this trailer, I think the idea that Miles is inherently special and quote unquote wrong for some people is really interesting. It plays really well into the whole unexpected, I didn't ask for this side of the character that I've always really liked. And I think there's a capability to use Miguel and whatever his motivations are, be it to protect his family or the multiverse or whatnot, as a metaphor for the people who still can't accept Miles Morales as Spider-Man and won't accept that anyone can wear the mask. Maybe to Miguel, he sees the rules of Spider-Man to be very strict and Miles doesn't fit into that for some reason. But regardless, this movie is likely going to have a pretty dark ending. The fact that this was initially part 1 and part 2 means that there's probably going to be some kind of cliffhanger or empire ending to lead into the third one, and I personally can't wait to see what they do. So what did you think of the Across the Spider-Verse trailer? And comment down below who your favorite version of Spider-Man is, because that won't get controversial at all. If you like this video, be sure to like button and subscribe. Special thanks to Also the Sting, Cabbage Boy, Cassidy Bond, Chicken McDoofus, Connor Langyel, Cosmic Tragedy, Iron Ninja, Jonah, Corey's Not Fresh, Lime Spice XL, Logan Triplet Films, Simply Dan, Tim Neufeld, Troy Says Biorazer is Gay, Tyler Goodrich, Yush Kapoor, Zachary Stonebreaker, Zero to Hero 148, and ZZ Toasty for being spectacular fanboys on my Patreon. This has been TroyBoy17 coming at you live. AI art sucks. Stop it. Be responsible, everybody, and I'll see you around.